Hello, Fargo CTE educators. It's Denise Jonas here to provide some important end-of-year updates and future planning for 22-23 with Ryan, wave Ryan, and Idette. This is my third take, so we're getting it down, but their waving is slow. So we're going to jump on. I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully this is something that you can watch at any time when you have time during your schedule versus scheduling a meeting. But we would ask that you watch this and email some of the questions you might have after it is finished to that person that we've listed in the PowerPoint. So here is our update. First of all, it was a Teacher Appreciation Week. For me, I didn't send anything out to you because we wanted to celebrate you with this awesome video. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for what you do, not just in this week, but every week and every day, every period of the day, because we know how important you are to the kids. I think about every period of the day and the work you've done this year to help sub and cover for others. It has been amazing what everyone has accomplished in the transition over the last 2 years. So we want to thank you for what you do for kids, the amazing projects that you've accomplished, the partnerships you've created with business and industry and colleges, and we just want to celebrate. And so what we decided at probably 2 months ago in February, I asked you to complete a survey. Would you like to have a spring social? And a majority of the CTE people in Fargo and West Fargo said yes. And when I asked where the event might be held and listed some different sites, Dreckers was the top choice in each of the organizations. So instead of having 2 separate get-togethers, I thought maybe it would be fun to have a pre-PDC social event right here in Fargo. So we set up a time for Dreckers from 4:30 to 6:30. We're going Dutch. So please plan to come ready to have fun and discuss. If you want to eat, you might want to grab something beforehand. And I think just have a fun time with our colleagues. Also, we want to, do we have anything else, Idette, that's important for Dreckers that we need to do? Play games, take pictures, anything like that?
Nope, just come and have fun.
Okay, put on your fun hat and show up. Over the summer, we're going to use the employee portal as our mechanism to communicate dates specific to CTE. So Ryan, you'll be entering your curriculum dates on here. There might be different events that come up. We will be posting those on our CTE calendar. And then any spotlight announcements we are going to put in the top area of the box. For those of you that will start ordering any kind of equipment and materials for next year, you'll see the requisitions for 22-23 on the left-hand side of the screen. And Idette can help you for any of you that might need assistance with that process. So, teacher updates. We've had some retirements, we've had some change of personnel and positions in schools, and we've had some resignations. So on the list, you can see that Carl Bensbach's Nikki Black will be returning to fill that position. Discovery Tech and Engineering, Gary is retiring. Congratulations, Gary. We are still advertising for a position. So please share any kind of information to colleagues around the state of the opening. At Davies, Lana will be taking a new position and Aaron Rainey is coming on. Phil Campbell is moving from North to Davies. Jeff Hammond is jumping to North from ILC to Tech and Engineering. Lorianne Odegaard is our new full-time teacher up at Fargo North. And she is going to be working with Allison. Then we have an opening now. Well, I see our CTRE, I still haven't confirmed the person for this position, but Joan, thank you, will be moving to the Detroit Lakes area to work at their school. At South, we have a new position with full-time fax. Congratulations, Katie McCleary. South, Heidi Horn is going to be filling in for Chris Hintz, who's retired. Cheers to you, Chris. Thank you. Happy retirement. And then finally at South and Davies, replacing Heidi, we've hired Anna Wimkin. So that's what we have as of May 2022. Any big budget updates? IDET is going to be chiming in a little bit on this one, but we just want you to know that we are really working hard to finish out any kind of purchases and clearing up the books, because we have to have all of our end of year reporting done by June 30th. In July, I think some big items. IDET, do you want to chime in here a little bit about what happens in July for the new system and purchases and curriculum, Ryan?
We have a new system starting this year. So hopefully July 1, we will be able to start doing purchase orders. If not, as soon as possible after that date, you know, you can put your requests in the 22-23 requisition, and I will start ordering those as soon as we get approval for Perkins. We'll start ordering our equipment items and get the year going.
And it'll be the same thing for the curriculum materials that are in the budget that have been approved. In any conversations we have to tie up here, we'll be doing the same thing at the same time.
Probably the biggest thing is when it comes to some of those carryover online software pieces that Ryan is working with and Rebecca, if you get emails that come directly to you, just please forward them on to Rebecca and Ryan, because they can help negotiate those individual, like Stukent or some of the online, you know, knowledge matters. Anything important that comes through specifically to you, please send on to us and we can help get that ready for the fall. We also, I had some questions about the business partnership liaison. This position will be located up at the Fargo district office. So far, we've had many conversations about Sanford wanting to work with us on cooperative experiences. We have many other partnerships with the colleges, and we just want to develop this area more. So Lana will be working with us to attend those meetings. The Chamber of Commerce, we have the Ignite site. How can we capitalize on using that more? Also, we have a summer adventure for teachers, and that will be June 20th to the 24th. So watch for information on that. And finally, in the future, we would like to host a middle school career academy, and we would start planning for this for next summer. We also want to work more closely with our CTSO advisors. Some of you are veterans and you have it down pat, but when we have new advisors coming on, how can we work to support them? And our National Technical Honor Society, we would like to get that launched in Fargo. So that would be another place that Lana will be working. And then also some dual credit. Ryan works with the dual credit curriculum piece, but then we've been working on, we just found out that we may have a $10,000 grant from Excel Energy, and we would like to work on ways to help students offset their costs for dual credit. So those are some different examples of what that might look like for this new position, and more to come as we work forward. I'll turn it over to Ryan.
So curriculum updates, summer writing, as everybody knows, the email chain has been flying around in circles as it normally does this time of year. I will continue to work on that schedule with everyone. We're getting a little bit tighter and tighter. Once we get that nailed down over the next week or so, those dates will be put onto the employee portal, as Denise showed us earlier. And again, if there's any needs, anything that is not on there, things we've discussed, things that may have gotten missed in the conversation, please just email me, let me know so we get stuff on there. I think we're in pretty good shape at this point, but we're still trying to get things tightened down. Everybody's schedules change. Vacations come up, you know, things slide around a lot this time of year, and that's okay. That's what we expect. So we'll keep working on that. And then for curriculum goals for next year, with our course captain work, we have a couple of questions on here, things that we've been kind of brought up to move forward with what our goals are. Number one is going to be, what courses do you want to focus on, or on which you want to focus? Also, what questions do you have moving forward with EBR? We've got a lot of discussion going on. We have our new kind of rejuvenated approach as we're trying to put focus back on getting EBR moving in the classrooms. So whatever questions you have that are coming up, being able to communicate that with course captains, as well as another one that I've kind of thought a little bit about is enhancing communication. How do we make sure that everybody is in the loop per se and getting all of the messages that we need? I just had a situation the other day, not a bad thing, just we're kind of talking through some of the conversations with our course captains, and we all of a sudden realized there were 2 people in the department that weren't aware of the conversation. Everybody else was, but those 2 weren't because of what our PLC structure is. So it just kind of brought to light that, you know, we may want to look a little bit and take some suggestions from you guys on how do we make sure that all of those things are getting covered. Also looking at with our course captains, what are those cycles that we kind of go through? You know, we hit the fall and we have our new courses and our course catalog that comes up. When do we need to have resources? When do we want to decide on curriculum writing, things like that? So those are going to be some of the focuses for next year. And then we're going to be working directly with the building coaches to support this work as part of the EBR rollout. So there'll be a lot of back and forth work going on, trying to utilize people's times and get all that support in the best possible way that we can to move people forward. So in that kind of that timeline, we've talked a little bit about that rollout timeline. Everybody saw the document. I'm going to send out an email with some kind of reminders and links again this week or this next week. What is that timeline for your courses? When are you going to have those implemented? We've talked a little bit, there's a new roadmap template that started being utilized as our district to help you track. I'm going to have some information on that in the upcoming email to get some feedback on how to set that up and how to best use that. So of course, captains, this stuff will be coming to you. Our skills document, as we're tightening down those skills, again, kind of that condensation or recategorization of ELOs. We have a document that we need to input those in. And so any courses that you are going to want to be using EBR next year in, we need to have those in by June 30th, which is the next point. Those skills are updated in PowerSchool, and that's going to be on a yearly basis. So if we're at a point that you feel that you have some skills, but you're not sure if that's the way it needs to stay over the long term, if you are acceptable to those at this point and you want to put those in, we can start there. And then as you work through more of the practice scrimmage game conversations and how that plays out in your course, we can then adjust them for the next year. So it's not a one and done conversation. So I just wanted to make sure I reiterated that with everybody that, you know, we're trying to get those skills in. We want to have skills in for all the departments. But again, it's not that those are a set in stone conversation for the rest of our teaching careers. But again, I'm going to have a follow-up email coming out with some of this information in it as well.
You know, Ryan, I have one question that was brought up to me. Let's say you're a person that wants to start grading with EBR. Obviously, that would be a priority to have everything in place. But if you're not fully immersed in grading for EBR, is June 30th still a priority?
June 30th is still the priority to have them in because Janelle, our new PowerSchool person, that is the date she set for us to be able to put everything in so it can go into PowerSchool for next year. So I think where we run into, I think our question here is, say, I'm in the IT department at Davies High School and I want to be grading all of my courses, but I'm in the IT department at South High School, and based on our planning, I'm going to roll out at a little bit different pace. Is that kind of the scenario you're thinking about, Denise?
Yes, that's been a conversation. Do I have to have this work done if I'm not grading EBR?
Right. And if you are not grading EBR, then you do not need to utilize that function in Power School. But because we do cross the district in our conversation with our curriculum, it still is going to impact you and those people who do want to implement it sooner. You are best off having the conversations as soon as possible. And I think, again, that's where it gets to be, this is a relatively short time frame that we're dealing with, where going back to that idea that if we can settle on a level of categorization at this point for our skills, and as we work on them and get them better, we do have the ability to change that. So if you wanted to start using it and it's not a perfect iteration this first go around, that is okay. And then we would be able to clean that up and tighten it down so everybody's on board by that 2025 conversation.
Okay, thank you. Idette, would you want to jump in and share a little bit about your end of year updates?
Yes, so I will soon be sending out a note to everybody reminding you about PDC in August. First thing you need to do is complete your professional leave form. If anybody has questions on that, when I send out the letter on PDC, I'm going to send out directions for that too, because we have some new people that maybe haven't done it before. In that letter, we'll include all the other things that you need to know. One major thing is make sure you contact me if you need a room by July 13th, because then they will let the rest of them go. And then you need to register for the event. Please wait until after July 1, because we need to have the dollars go in next school year. Again, more information that will be coming out in a letter emailed to you. Next thing is advisory meeting member lists and your meeting minutes. Make sure you have turned those into me. I will be sending out emails next week to those that I don't have. Maybe you thought you turned it in, but you didn't. I'll be sending out notes to everybody on that. The course captains, this year we're paid on a monthly basis, but if for some reason you did not receive a payment and you were a course captain, we found out one that had not been getting it for part of the year, please let me know immediately so we can get you paid in June. And email your advisory forms. If you know dates you're starting for next year, give them to me and we can start putting them on the calendar.
Thanks, Idette. That's probably one of the biggest tasks, is just to get everything into the computer system through the Department of Career Tech Ed. Until all of those documents are in, we can't close out our books or receive any reimbursement funding. So we appreciate all your help and your work to organize your advisory committee groups. We have some information on our professional development as we work forward next year. There's going to be opportunities at the beginning of the school year for much with professional development around Tier 1 instruction, different kinds of strategies. We will be focusing on, for CTE, the career ready practices and how we can integrate those into our curriculum, how they might be used in work-based learning or cooperative work experiences. And then ultimately, how you can enter those into Power School if you have not been doing it. So that will be one focus for us for next year. And then obviously the EBR progressions of learning will continue to be work with Ryan. We will be working as we see this transition from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. We're now more into the building level in that formative assessment and activities piece. So Ryan is going to be partnering with the coaches that are in certain buildings or across the district, because that balance of helping work with the coaches who are in the buildings on a daily basis can be very helpful to our PLC groups. So he'll be continuing to work as the lead for the course captains and then also be connecting with coaches. So those are a few shifts in our PLC process that we'll be working on for next year. For me, thinking about the most important part of our jobs is just creating success for students. And that is definitely seen all over our classrooms. And these are just a few pictures that I snapped throughout the year. I have hundreds of pictures on my phone or saved in folders, just showing teachers in action and kids at work. And what we hear is that students love classes where they're busy and hands-on and they're learning. And I just want to do a shout out to all of you on this Teacher Appreciation Week. And just remember, it's about the students, and we thank you for your patience. Learners are at all levels. Some are natural at what they're learning, and some take more time and energy to help them learn, but we appreciate all you've done. And I guess this is just a collage of some things that happened this year, and kudos to you educators. Celebrate and know that at the end of May, what we want from you or for you is to rest, relax, and enjoy. You know, from sun up till sundown. We hope you have a great summer, and whatever we can do to help you end the school year, please know Ryan, Idette, and I are here for you, and we look forward to 22-23 and the successes yet to come. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of the school year.